Hey, what's up, everyone? I was planning on doing a live stream yesterday and I didn't get about to do it because something caught my attention. And so I got very distracted. So yesterday I came across this LinkedIn post which, which says that Harvard has just confirmed this. It's brutal math, but juniors are down by 23% and seniors are up by 14% or something like that. But the point is that maths are brutal and we can't ignore this. And so I immediately did what I had to do. I figured out where is the paper. I took it, I threw it into Claude and said, make me a nice skill prompt for this. I want to go live with this and talk about it and tell everybody why they should buy my course such that they can get ahead with their AI game. And then it hit me. Maybe I should read the paper before I actually do the tail prompt. So I actually got some really nice tail prompt, a lot of good quotes that would have completely trusted for making my case for why you should invest in AI. But actually, after reading the paper, I don't want to do that. I think that this is a garbage paper. I think you should completely ignore it, and I will tell you why. First of all, here's the original graph, right? And so it shows something with seniors here and something with juniors here. The first thing you notice, so I've been in science back 10 years where I've been working on quantum computers and various other bits. And so one of the first things you do when you get a paper is you look at the figures, and then after, if you looked at the figures, you look at what's on the axis. And here on the y-axis is just this log size. Okay, this is pretty useless. I don't know what log size is, and so you go to the text, you try to understand what is going on here, and then you see something about coefficients, equation 1. Okay, let's go to equation 1 and see what is here. Okay, so the guy who wrote the LinkedIn post is correct. This is brutal maths. There is at least a sum sign and a ton of terms. And oh wait, actually, it appears that they don't have a quotation for their equation itself, right? This is a danger sign. If people are not quoting where they got the equation from, they probably came up with it themselves. Right, so I went on, started understanding the different terms, and so this 1 is what we in physics would call a Kronecker delta. It basically just means it's 1 whenever t is equal to j, and otherwise it's 0. What this basically does is it collapses the sum, and you can then isolate the terms. I did that right here. And what you end up with is something that looks a little bit like this. So all of the brutal math go away, and you end up with 3 terms. This is some random garbage that they came up with to account for effects that they couldn't explain. This is some other things that they came up with to account for errors. So basically, it boils down to a very simple 1a plus b equation. Which made me think, okay, maybe this isn't as solid as you think. And then I started doubting myself. This was the next bit because I haven't been doing any maths or physics for 10 years, so I could be mistaken. So I took this to Claude. I basically just asked it to redo my maths, said it found the equation here, and I asked it, could you try to simplify this? And it came up with exactly the same as I did after asking it to try to isolate it. So that confirms that this equation that they have been putting in is over-engineered and just have a ton of terms, which means that you can make it show anything that you actually want. And so just to be sure, I then asked Claude, are you absolutely sure this is correct, right? And it redid the calculation, and it still arrived at the same result, while pointing out that it shouldn't be so overly confident itself. So I think that's pretty solid. I do not understand why the authors haven't done this, just made a simple equation that everybody can understand without all of this nonsense. You see, it's very simple. It's alpha plus a adapter term plus a delta plus a error term. This is completely simple. Now, if we go back to the actual equation here, now ignore that this is too complicated. Then what we figure out is that, okay, so beta j captures the differential evolution of employment for adopters relative to the non-adopters in a period J. This is, I mean, it's an English phrase. That's what it is. But it's not a very good one. It doesn't really explain much. You can't understand what beta is. What you can understand down here in the next paragraph is that beta is what is depicted in this thing, right? But other than that, and then it goes back to saying something about adopters. Adopt I is a dummy equation, or a dummy equal to 1 for firms that adopted AI, and it's defined in section 3.2. Okay, that's good to know. We'll get back to that in just a second, right? But then they have this complicated equation. They plot the thing here that they have calculated somehow, and then they go on and they make it even more complicated. But just as before, these ones with t equal j basically collapses the sum. So this means that you could make this a super simple equation, but they managed to make it as complicated as humanly possible, which I think is hilarious. And yeah, I think it goes to show that probably you shouldn't take this too serious, because people who are big on making things complicated without also showing the simple version basically a lot of times don't have anything important to say. So let's go back up here and then have a look. Right, so here 3.2 is where they define this thing. So they got a lot of job posts here, right? And then they did an AI approach where they basically compiled a list of AI-related keywords and flagged all the posts containing a keyword. Guys, that's not really AI. That's a normal search algorithm, if anything, right? And so they came back with that out of these 200 million posts they found, about 600,000 of them contained at least one keyword. So 600,000 posts pointed to the early adopters out of the 200 million. Now this got me thinking, can we really rely on this? And so I went back to Claude and I just started asking it more questions, trying to come up with reasons why this research might not be as solid as possible. And so I asked it to find statistics around what unemployment for junior people look like. And it's right. Junior unemployment has gone up. But here's the thing. Like if you have 200 million, it's gone up by 1.5% point. But if you have 200 million job ads and only 600,000 of those ones are due to AI, you can't attribute that to that as being the reason why AI, or you can't conclude from that AI is taking people's jobs. It seems highly unlikely. And this is completely unaccounted for in the paper, together with a ton of other things. Now, like I'm all for that AI is going to change the way we work. It will make it a lot easier for us to do things in the future, and it will for sure eliminate some jobs. But research like this is really not helping anybody. The only thing this will do is it will make my boss get up and ask me why I haven't produced another 5,000 lines of code today. But other than that, it won't do much, because it does a really poor job at actually substantiating why AI is important and the effect it has on society. Rather, yeah, I really wish that this would have been a more nuanced research article, but unfortunately, I don't think we can conclude much from it, and I certainly don't think that the math, as this guy said, is brutal. I don't think that any of these posts that are coming around on social media stating that one senior developer plus 3 junior developers are now replaced by a senior developer plus Claude. It is completely true that with Claude, you can do a lot more, a lot faster. But I don't think that this is proven by this paper by any means. And I think that both the posts and the paper itself should be disregarded. If you're the reviewer of this paper, if this paper is landing on your desk and you are to review it, I really hope that you will go very thoroughly through it and that you will point out all of the mistakes in this paper, because it's not solid science and it's an outright disgrace that it comes out of Harvard, in my opinion. I don't think that it should have made it to the public. All right, that's it from me. If you want more tips on how to actually do stuff with AI and learn how to be more productive with AI, subscribe or follow, and see you in the next video.